Um, so in Sit Down, You're Rocking the Boat, the challenges were that we had to sing as well as dance and move, and we had to use chairs. Now the challenges that came with singing were mainly down to key, because what we did is we learnt the dance separately first, and when we learnt the dance we then studied the song, and we learnt the song and the lyrics after we'd learnt the dancing. So it was in terms of being completely aware of the movement and then kind of picking the song up and sticking it in the right place. What happened though is that we managed to do that successfully, but the key would prove to be the biggest challenge. We'd always be either under, one below, an octave lower or an octave higher, or another thing that was a problem in terms of Sit Down, You're Rocking a Boat was the tempo of the song, because it's such a fast song, and there's, when you're dancing, you're having to do quite a lot of kind of kinetic, fast-paced movement, but then you have to sing as well, and to sing and kind of get the right breath and make sure that you're not going to suddenly collapse on the floor, and make sure that you're still sticking to the song and you're not going faster or slower, considering it's a fast song. And there are some really quick moments, like the bit where it's like sit down, you're rocking, sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the boat. That bit's immensely tough if you're dancing as well. In that bit of the song though, we also started picking up chairs. Now the chairs became quite difficult because when they're put on the stage you have to be aware that they're there. So that, and I mean that in terms of choreography, so of course there's some things that you can't do if there's a pile of large chairs behind you. I also mean that in terms of riskiness, like you slip on a chair, you trip on a chair, then ultimately that could really be dangerous. In terms of actually using the chairs though themselves, it was difficult because of the last section of the piece, so we had to kind of pick up the chair and be kind of aware of our surroundings so we didn't cause any harm to anybody or harm to ourselves. Another challenge in the kind of jazz section was in the crapshooters dance, the little bits that are quite fiddly and quite intricate. So the parts, for example, where you've got lots of little movements. So there's a little motif that we do, which is where we've just given the lady the money into the hat, and then we go into this thing where we punch to the right and then swing back on the left, so we're then up on our feet. And we did this in a canon, so we all kind of got up gradually. But what was difficult was that this bit afterwards is where we had to leap and then land with our back foot behind the front foot, and then pose, and then spin off, and then run off. So essentially what we had to do was, considering it was like all in the space of 4 beats, it was quite hard to learn and to remember it because it was so like sharp and bang 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 kind of thing. Other challenges that were faced in the crapshooters dance were probably the timings. There'd be kind of moments in the song where the timing would, we'd lose the timing, or we'd go off into another motif or another section, and we wouldn't grasp that it was still the time signature, and we still and that would kind of wobble and it would fail, and then we'd have to kind of claw it back together. I think ultimately it was successful in terms of keeping in time and dancing to the beat, but over the rehearsal process this was definitely a challenge, yeah.